In this video of lesson number 2, we are going to take up the topic 2 another chemicals that can be manufactured from common salt. They are baking soda and bleaching powder. Chemical name of baking soda is sodium hydrogen carbonate and its chemical formula is NaHCO3. It is also known as sodium bicarbonate. It is added to food items for faster cooking of food. Mainly, it is added to the fermented food products. Production of baking soda is done by the reaction between cold and concentrated solution of NaCl, which we call brine, with ammonia and carbon dioxide. This is the method by which baking soda is produced on the large scale. Sodium chloride, ammonia, water and carbon dioxide react with each other to produce sodium hydrogen carbonate, that is baking soda, along with ammonium chloride. Let's discuss the properties of baking soda. It is available in the form of white crystals which are sparingly soluble in water. Sparingly soluble means they are somewhat soluble in water. They do not dissolve in water completely like sugar and common salt do dissolve. It is a mild non-corrosive base. That means it is basic in nature, but when consumed, when eaten, it does not harm our body because it is weak base. Solution of baking soda in water is weakly alkaline. If we heat baking soda, decomposition of the NaOH occurs and the products obtained are sodium carbonate with evolution of carbon dioxide gas. This carbon dioxide gas is responsible for the increase in volume of the fermented batter. Above reaction takes place when sodium hydrogen carbonate is heated during the cooking of food. Baking soda is also used as a constituent of baking powder for the aeration of the dough and in effervescent drinks where carbon dioxide is evolved during the heating of baking soda. Uses of baking soda. The most common use is antacid. It is used as an antacid in medicine to remove acidity. Why? Because it neutralizes the excess acid present in the stomach and it gives relief from the problem of indigestion. So suppose a family member of yours suffers from the problem of acidity at midnight and you do not have any such tablet which can cure this problem. So it is advisable that you can give a tablespoon of baking soda in water as a remedy to cure the problem of acidity. Another use of baking soda, as we already discussed, that it is used in making baking powder. Baking powder is a mixture of baking soda and a mild edible acid such as tartaric acid. When baking powder reacts with water present in dough made for baking cake or bread, then sodium hydrogen carbonate reacts with tartaric acid to evolve carbon dioxide gas. So in the equation you can see that H+ ions are the ions which get released from tartaric acid and the products obtained are sodium ion, carbon dioxide and water. These sodium ions then combine with tartaric acid to form sodium tartarate. Baking soda is the reason for the soft and spongy cake that we eat. The soft and spongy nature of the cake is because of the carbon dioxide which when produced gets trapped in the wet dough. It bubbles out slowly, it makes the cake to rise and because of this the cake turns out to be fluffy and soft. Absence of baking powder in the manufacturing of cake will make it hard and the cake will not be spongy anymore. If only baking soda is used in making cake, then Na2CO3 formed from it by the action of heat will give it a bitter taste, because Na2CO3 is basic in nature and bases are going to be bitter in taste. The tartaric acid, which is present in baking powder, reacts with this Na2CO3 formed and neutralizes it, and the product of this neutralization reaction is sodium tartrate salt. This salt has a pleasant taste, so we enjoy eating fermented food products. As long as the baking powder is dry, sodium hydrogen carbonate and tartaric acid present in the cake do not react with each other. They will react only when they are dissolved in water. Let's learn the difference between baking soda and baking powder. Remember students, baking soda is a single compound which has the formula NaHCO3. The name is sodium bicarbonate. But baking powder is a mixture of two compounds. One constituent is baking soda plus another constituent can be tartaric acid or citric acid. Baking soda is also used in fire extinguishers. A soda acid type of fire extinguisher contains the solution of sulfuric acid and baking soda in separate containers. Let's discuss how these fire extinguishers work. When the knob of the fire extinguisher is pressed, the sulfuric acid mixes with baking soda solution to produce a substantial quantity of carbon dioxide gas. The carbon dioxide gas forces out as a stream of liquid that falls on the burning substance because of the high pressure within the extinguisher. A blanket of carbon dioxide gas comes out along with the liquid formed around the burning substance, and this blanket of carbon dioxide will cut off the supply of oxygen with the burning substance. When the supply of oxygen is cut off, the substance will stop burning and hence the fire will get extinguished. The reaction involved in this fire extinguisher is the reaction between baking soda and sulfuric acid to produce sodium sulfate, water and carbon dioxide. So the liquid which is coming out is going to be a solution of sodium sulfate, and the carbon dioxide which is coming out will form a layer around the burning substance so that the supply of oxygen is cut and the fire gets extinguished. Let's now talk about the other chemical, that is bleaching powder. Its chemical name is calcium oxychloride and chemical formula is CaOCl2. It is also known as chloride of lime. Preparation of bleaching powder is done by passing chlorine gas over slaked lime. Slaked lime is also known as calcium hydroxide. So the reaction between slaked lime and chlorine gas produces bleaching powder and water. Let's discuss the properties of bleaching powder. It's a white colored powder which has a strong smell of chlorine. That's the irritating smell. It is soluble in cold water, but the small insoluble portion is always left behind, and that part is what we call lime. It reacts with excess of dilute acid to liberate excess of chlorine gas, and that's why it has that strong smell of chlorine. The chlorine gas acts as a bleaching agent. So, the bleaching action of chlorine is due to its oxidizing property. Some colored substances turn colorless when they are oxidized by chlorine. Bleaching powder is basically an arrangement of storing chlorine, because chlorine alone is very difficult to store and utilize. Let's discuss the uses of bleaching powder. It is used in textile industry for bleaching of cotton and linen clothes. Also used for bleaching wood pulp in paper industry. Used for disinfecting water supply, which makes the drinking water germ free. Used in the manufacturing of chloroform. Also used as an oxidizing agent in many chemical industries and for making wool unshrinkable. Well, that was all that we had to discuss in the video. Thank you.